I saw the Satanists tumbling upon each other in the disgusting nudity of their ritual dance. Old Madame de Fay, huge buttocked and swollen, prancing by some satanic power with all the vigour of a young girl who had only just reached maturity. The Babu, dark-skinned, fleshy, hideous. The American woman, scraggy, lean-flanked and hag-like, with empty hanging breasts. The Eurasian, waving the severed stump of his arm in the air as he gavoted beside the unwieldy figure of the Irish bard, whose paunch stood out like the grotesque belly of a Chinese god. St. Botolph was one of the earliest and most revered of the East Anglian saints. King Anna of East Anglia gave him the land to build a monastery. He died in 680 AD after a long life of Christian endeavour and teaching. The remains of the saint were taken from the monastery and divided. After much travelling, the relics were brought to London through the 4 city gates of Aldersgate, Bishopsgate, Aldgate and Billingsgate. The churches at the entrances were given the name of St. Botolph. As his relics were conveyed from place to place, his name became associated with wayfarers and travellers, of which he is now the patron saint. St. Botolph's Church is a redundant Anglican church near the village of Skidbrooke, Lincolnshire, in England. It stands in an isolated position in the Lincolnshire marshlands. The church dates from the early 13th century. It was declared redundant in November 1973. Recently, St. Botolph's has been identified as one of the most haunted spots in Lincolnshire and is a centre for unexplained paranormal activity. Several ghost hunters have reported unusual goings-on in the building, and the church was nicknamed the Demon Church after it became popular with Satanist groups of the 1970s and 80s. In 2004, St. Botolph's Church was in the news for having been the place where animal sacrifices had taken place. Local farmers reported their sheep and cattle had been mutilated, and satanic graffiti has been found on the walls of the church. Visitors have also reported seeing a ghostly monk on the site, seeing odd lights and hearing the sounds of storms when the weather is calm.